Hi everyone. In this video I want to talk about the concept of parallel realities because there are so many misconceptions about this, which is understandable because it's not an easy concept to understand. But if you're understanding it wrong, then this is why people get confused and get stuck in this mode of feeling like they're doing what they're being told to do, but it's just not working. Because if your model of how reality works is incorrect, then no matter how many times you keep repeating the technique or whatever it is you're doing, if you're pressing the wrong button on the machine, if you're not understanding which button it is that causes reality to be generated in the way you want it to, then it's never going to work. So my aim in this video is to try to clarify this quite difficult concept and make it a bit more understandable. So to understand this, first of all, we need to go back to the concept that there are two levels of the self. There's this human self that you're experiencing yourself as, and then there is the God self, the one that is creating all of this. So there's the creator, which is God, and there's the created, which is your human self, amongst other things. So at the level of the God self, if we imagine this supercomputer, this panel or monitor sitting in front of the God self, where the God self has absolutely every possibility imaginable available to it. So it has all versions of all people, all things, all governments, everything you can think of. It's all controlled by these buttons on this panel sitting in front of your God self. So this is what it means that there are parallel realities. At the level of the God self, it's like this supercomputer has already generated all the different permutations possible with all the ingredients that one could ever imagine and placed all those infinite options available side by side for selection by you. So if you think of a movie, for example, not only are there infinite movies with different stories in them, but for each movie, there's a version where the same actor has brown eyes, another way he has blue eyes, another way he has green eyes, and so on, for every single little detail you can think of. Now, this feels inconceivable from the level of our human self, because we're very immersed in the physical. At any one moment, we're experiencing ourselves in only one of those infinite parallel realities. And it feels to us, from the perspective of our human self, that this is the only reality there is. But if we go back to the level of the God self, and if we think of it as the God self being the movie editor, with all these different realities that it can select at the touch of a button, then from that perspective you can see how easy it is to choose, because you've got the computer doing it all for you. And all you have to do is pick the one you want out of all the options available. Now, the thing to understand is that there is only one God, only one creator, only one I am. It's you, but there is only one you at that level, sitting in front of the supercomputer and choosing which reality to make active. There are many humans on the screen in the projection that I am generating, but only one sitting at the controls. Now, once the you at that level has chosen which reality to make active, that gets imposed on all humans. So there's no such thing as my reality and your reality. You, as God, are choosing which reality to make active for everyone, because there is only one creator. There is only one doing the choosing. So although you're experiencing yourself as being this individual human that is separate from all the other humans, that part of yourself is part of the reflection. It's part of the reality that you have chosen to make active. At the level of God, it is one and the same I am doing the choosing. So whether I, Alison, am doing the choosing, or you, who are watching me, are doing the choosing, when we go to that level and choose, it is one and the same being that is doing that. I am experiencing myself as Alison, but when I go within and choose to shift my state and assume differently, I am going to the level of the one creator. And the reality that I choose at that level gets imposed on everyone, on the whole world, not just on Alison, but everyone. So that one being that I am at the God level is experiencing itself at the human level as these multiple individuals that we are. But at that level, there is only one. This is the meaning of Neville's phrase that everyone is yourself pushed out. It's not the you at the human level that is pushed out. It is the one creator that is pushing itself into the movie, into the reality, into the actors within the movie that it has chosen to make active. So going back to the concept of parallel realities, all those infinite possibilities exist, but they're like different rooms or different TV channels, and you decide which of those rooms to occupy or which channel to display on the TV screen. So through your assumptions, you're constantly choosing which reality to make active. But remember, because this is where people get all muddled up, remember that although you're experiencing yourself as being this human, the human part of you exists within the reality. And the part of you that is choosing what reality to make active is sitting outside the reality with the computer in front of it, making the selection, and then imposing that on both your own human self as well as everyone and everything else. So, when you're shifting your state, when you're assuming differently, you are going up to that level and choosing from there, from the place where everything is being created and generated from. Your human self is the effect. It's the result. It's not the one doing the choosing. So this is why it doesn't make sense when people ask things like, what if I want to manifest this thing and someone else wants to manifest the opposite? If you understand that there is only one choosing the movie, only one writing the story, only one choosing to experience itself as both you and me, then it just doesn't make sense that that being would want a situation where it's experiencing fulfillment as one person and deprivation as the other. It's always able to choose a reality where there is fulfillment for all individuals, because it has infinite possibilities. It can always create more resources, different situations, whatever is necessary. It wouldn't give an individual a desire and then make it impossible for that desire to be fulfilled without it being at the cost of someone else not getting what they want. It just wouldn't make sense. If you have infinite possibilities at your fingertips, why would you choose to put two people against each other and make it impossible for both of them to get what they want? You just wouldn't do that to yourself, would you? You would somehow modify the situation so that everyone gets to have what they want. Because if you're an infinite being and can create absolutely anything, why wouldn't you? It's only from our limited human perspective, because we're looking at things from within the current reality, from within the limitations that exist within that reality, that we think like that. We think that there are limited resources. We think that if someone else gets something and there's only one of that thing, it means that I can't have it. At this human level, we can't see all those infinite possibilities, which is why it makes sense to simply assume that we get to have the fulfillment of our desire without going into the logic of it. Because when we let ourselves go into the human logic, we suck ourselves into the world of limitations. We can't see a way for everyone to win. But at the level of God, the supercomputer, which is the higher self, it can always come up with a solution that fulfills everyone's desires. But you have to learn to go beyond your human logic to allow that to happen. Otherwise, you keep clinging to the current reality, where it's not possible for everyone to have what they want. And you don't allow yourself to move into a reality where it is possible. So you have to keep in mind that your human self, the being that you're experiencing yourself as, exists within the current reality. It can only see what is possible within this current permutation. And by definition, if you're feeling a lack of something, then you're in a reality where it's not possible to have that thing. So you need to allow yourself to go beyond the human mind, to go and choose at a level that your human self simply can't comprehend. And then through that choice that you make at that level, you will cause your human self to be moved into a reality where having what you want is possible. And then only once you've moved and your human self is now in the new reality, does your human mind become able to see that of course it's possible to have this thing, and it always was possible all along, because you're now in a reality where the facts clearly show that it is possible. And when it comes to choosing a different reality, the way to do it is simply to choose to move to a reality where your desire gets fulfilled. Keep it as simple as that. Don't get into all the things that need to happen in order for your desire to get fulfilled. Your mind simply isn't equipped to be able to process all that. It's a bit like if you order something on Amazon and then you start trying to get into who needs to manufacture which parts, and then who they need to be sent to, and where to find all the resources and suppliers and get them to the factory to be assembled, and then get the finished product to the Amazon warehouse, and then find the right delivery driver and make sure his car is working, and all the other things that need to happen in order for your item to be produced and get delivered to you. All of that it's just not necessary, right? You just put in the order and everything else gets taken care of. And this is exactly the same. That computer that you have available at the level of the God Self, it already knows how to work these things out very easily. It doesn't need you meddling with it and telling it that it needs to put this thing in place and that thing in place before you can have what you want. It's much, much better than you will ever be at putting all the pieces together and orchestrating everything in a way that is ideal for you. So your job is simply to choose to make active the reality in which your desire gets fulfilled, and that's it. And then let your higher self take care of the rest. That is all you need to do at that level. Just make the choice and then bring your focus back to the human level and enjoy the journey of being guided along the path that has been created for you. That's all there is to it, ultimately. Okay, so with that image in mind, I'm going to stop here for today. As usual, if you have questions, you can ask them in the comments, or you can come and find me on Facebook or through my website. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for your support. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.